Hello, everybody. Nice to see you all after a little break this summer. Today I've got Amy Satori with me, and Amy Satori is going to help us today with her tarot and her light language. And I wondered if you could perhaps introduce yourself, Amy.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm an intuitive spiritual teacher. I've won Best of Boulder Psychic Awards for 3 years. I've had a podcast. I've had my own satellite radio show. So I've been around for a while and have been speaking truths on my channel for a little bit here and there. And Michelle had found one of my recent Great Awakening videos. I have a whole playlist for the Great Awakening. I've been enlightened about 3 times. I've been in the 5D about 3 times. And I know what it is to be on the other side of this, where we're going. So I give a lot of hope to people who have no idea, what this is about and whatnot. But I speak light language. I listen to my intuition. I'm a healer. I'm healing people all over the world, just using my light language and Qigong, some Qigong techniques. So, and I just did an interview. If you guys want to learn about the light language, I just did an interview with Kimberly Palm as well on my channel. If you guys want to check that out, because we go into detail about that. But
That's
so
interesting because that was how I actually found you, Amy, was that Kimberly Palm is a mutual friend. And when I was checking my Facebook feed, she had put one of your videos in one of her comments.
Okay.
And normally, I don't have time to sort of watch every single thing that comes through my feed, but for some reason I was drawn to click on you that day. And then I noticed that the questions and answers that you were doing that particular day really resonated with the type of channeling that I normally get. So I thought it would be really nice for us to try and do a few things together to see, how that goes. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it, actually.
Me too. Yay.
So what I've done, Amy, is I've put some questions together today. Now, my audience already know that I channel things down, so I've already channeled the answers. And what we'll do today, if that's okay with you, is we'll just call out the questions and we'll just see what your tarot comes up with or your light language. Or it might just be something like a yes or a no answer. We never really know what's going to come through. Because when I'm channeling, sometimes I get just a yes or a no or a denied. And then sometimes they go into this whole long chat. So it's not something that we can necessarily always control anyway. So would you be okay doing it like that today, Amy? Is that something?
Yes. All right.
Okay, Amy. So the first question that I have today is, did Donald Trump win the 2020 election?
Yes. It was a definite yes. It wasn't, I would have expected a kind of a squiggly yes, but it was a yes. Oh, yeah. They just said landslide.
Yeah, that's interesting because in my recent...
They just said, I'm so sorry, but they just said 80-something%. Like,
yeah. I always get that 85%.
Yeah, I got like 83. Yeah, we're close.
Yeah.
We're real close. Yeah.
Yeah, they said here that Trump won the 2020 election in a landslide. Just what you just said.
Whoa.
And now all the pieces are being strategically put into place before the world sees the outcome fully. But they said that intuitives, like you and me, they already feel, see, know, and hear the new world, the age of love, the golden age.
Wow. Okay.
They're kind of implying there, I think, that the fact that he won is a good indication that what we're seeing with the golden age, the two things are linked. I think that's what they're saying.
That's so crazy too. Oh my gosh. Because while you were talking, I started to look at some tarot cards.
Yeah.
Transformation is happening with the mental conflict of it all.
Yeah.
Healing is coming, and the end, a chapter is closing out right now on the world, for the world, to come into a more authentic time. of healing. Things are closing out to go to the next level where communities are coming together. There's going to be harmony and new foundations established, togetherness happening. Major decision to work really hard on throwing the devil off the wheel. So the Wheel of Fortune is it's a fated event. Things working out to your favor. And I like to call it the flip, and it's the flip on the deep state or the DS, or however we want to say that. It's the flip on the bad guys because of our level of faith. Then there's going to be some kind of an apology, which hopefully would be the EBS, and plotting and planning on how to fight this thing so that we can celebrate on the other end of this and have the healing that needs to happen. So they're also encouraging us to have unwavering faith, absolute unwavering faith.
Yeah. So that's incredible that we both got the same kind of percentage. We both got a definite yes, no two ways about it. That they're both of us are getting that this golden age is absolutely coming. Oh wow! What do your cards say?
These are the World Truth cards. I made up an oracle to help us through this time. It says,
yeah. In fact, everybody should get these cards. I have a pack. Amy kindly sent me with my hairband holding them together.
They're a lifesaver.
I've actually been trying them this week, Amy, and honestly, your pack of cards, what are they called? The World Truth cards.
Mm-hmm.
What we'll do is we'll put the link to these in the description later on so that people can actually order. Are they able to order them now?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Well, so what did that card say about the Trump win?
Wow. Whoa. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my God. I'm so excited. Holy Lord. Okay. This involves exuberance, excitement, delight, and or relief. This caused or will cause great satisfaction and extreme joy.
Amazing.
This could turn, I got about 5 more. This could turn into a long-term situation. So if it's not what you want, be careful what you're putting your attention on as you're manifesting it. Nefarious people are still hard at work behind the scenes to take humanity and enslave them, to take them down and enslave them. But there aren't as many of them as there are us. If we are smart and stand up against them, which is what they just said too. There are or were many differing opinions and weigh-ins on this matter that have held things off, but things are getting unstuck, and there is a consensus being reached. Justice will occur. The situation involves good people with good intentions working behind the scenes to bring relief for humanity.
Wow.
Both their success and a bright future are ensured. We got this. And
that's incredible.
And this trauma will soon be over and you will be relieved. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Okay. So let's move into question 2 to see if we can feel this out a bit more.
Okay. Yeah.
So question 2, which is on everybody's mind now, because we've made this big, exciting vision in front of us, both of us, with your cards and them saying that the golden age is coming. So now we're all wondering.
I mean, there are cards saying this is going in a bad direction, like run for the hills and stockpile food. There's those cards in there too. Okay.
So now we're wondering, when is Trump coming back?
Ooh, that's a good one. Let me feel. I just got November just popped in my head.
And do we have a year on that? Is that this year, or do you think that's going to be?
I feel like it's this year. Hey, hang on. Let me just see. We are in, where do we? September, October, November. November just like popped. So it's this year. Yeah. I mean, at least what I'm getting. Or maybe something substantial happens with the whole thing in November. Is there a certain date? I get like November 11th, even 11/11. And my thing is true love too. So that's kind of cool. 11/11.
So before I just read out my channeling, the election was on the 3rd of November last year, wasn't it? Is that the date?
Oh, and by the way, when the cats meow, they're confirming. So she just meowed at what you're saying. Yeah.
So what I've always been told this year is that we've lost a year, and that we had to do another whole year before everything was going to move forward again. So if
Okay.
we're thinking of the year running from the 3rd of November, it could be link up with what you're saying, that around the 3rd of November, maybe that's when the whole year starts again, the one that we lost. So
Oh, okay.
that would
Okay.
be interesting. But in
Yeah.
my channeling, it was a bit of a trick question, I think, because they were saying Trump never went away. He was always the rightful winner of the
Yes.
2020 election, as we just
So
said before.
true.
That he stepped back for the highest good of humanity so that they could be safe and peaceful, because I think he was trying to avert civil unrest.
Mm-hmm.
And this is allowing the transition more easily to a new, brighter world of love and harmony. And he did this so that we could be free of war and enslavement on all levels: mental, physical, spiritual, and psychological. So I said, so what is the alliance or the Trump team actually waiting for right now? What are they waiting for? And they said that the alliance and the Trump team are waiting for a point in the collective consciousness where the people are able to receive the truths and break out of the matrix of programming on an individual basis.
Mm-hmm.
They said that people need to, through their own free will, break free from limiting perceptions and walk away from the old programming, and they must be ready to be in their full sovereignty. He said, now they said to me, dates for coming back are not emphasized at this time. It's more that certain parts of a plan are to be executed diligently with precision and in a certain order to create momentum. So I had
Well,
this
that
vision.
makes so much sense.
I had this vision, Amy. See if
Yeah.
anything comes to you while I'm explaining it. But they've been showing me recently, it's like the Trump team, the alliance, have got like a shopping list of things that they need to do. And it's not so much that they have a date for each thing. It's more that they want to do each thing on the list
Yes.
in like a particular order. And then as each thing gets ticked off, we get nearer to them announcing. So these could be things like, the first thing was the fake inauguration. Then we've got these audits going on. We've got the class actions. We've got the ongoing sting operations with the banking system trying to get set up, the quantum financial system.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed it to me like, if you think of these things on the shopping list like a boomerang. So we're throwing out the inauguration, we're throwing out the audit results, we're throwing out the QFS being set up. All these boomerangs have gone out and they're not coming back yet because they're waiting to finish the list. So there's a few more things I think they need to set in motion, like this boomerang going out. And then what I think they're planning to do is to bring all the boomerangs back at once. Boom, boom, boom. And that's going to be like, wake up, wake up, wake up.
Yes.
So when we're waiting for, well, where's these election results? Where's these, why did this fake inauguration happen? Why are the class actions taking so long? That's because I think it's being managed that way. So they were saying that there are still parts of this strategy to be initialized before we're going to see this next stage, i.e. maybe Trump coming back. And they said that some of the stages of that plan could involve Biden stepping down officially, military law, the audits then coming back and being ratified, a new system then being announced like the NESARA GESARA, although it might not be called that, and then the opening of the quantum financial system. And they've said it to me in that order, but they're saying that so we don't have dates as such, but that's basically what they're working on right now, is that list of things, sending out boomerangs. And then they said, at this time, everything is actually on track for ultimate success. And the restoration of peace and harmony, which is what you said before on your cards, and that there will be freedom for every soul to pursue their dreams and live in peace. So your
Yay.
cards were saying that as well. So they're basically saying, I don't know if you've got anything else coming through about this, but they're basically saying that instead of relying on a date, so we're not saying that date might not be correct, the November, that might possibly happen,
Mhm.
but it's more about that they're getting this shopping list done. They're throwing things out like the elections, the class actions, and then when all the things on the list are thrown out and ready, then they'll bring them all back, but they'll bring them back maybe like this boom, boom, boom effect. I don't know if you're getting any feelings around that.
Oh, yeah. Well, yep. It's like they're waiting it out intuitively to decide when to speak out. And they're unsure as to what they're going to say yet to turn everything around. But absolutely, yes, they're manifesting secrets coming out, at a certain point in time. And absolutely, it's for the awakening and for the justice of everybody involved. And this also implies that there could be like legal things going on in the background,
That's incredible.
those legal things that we know.
Yeah.
And yet, that hearing the news that the fake clone actor guy is out there saying that there was a BATTLE on unveed people. I was like, how can a clone do that? How can an actor do that? Obviously, this is all part of the plan to scare the bejesus out of people. And so it's like, I think the name of the game is to not. This is really a decision in choosing love or fear. This is really what it comes down to, guys, because there is no Satan and there is no God. God is a group of deities. It's spirit, and God is also like the higher consciousness. And, then that would make Satan the ego, basically. And the ego, I believe, is negative artificial intelligence. So if we can overcome our ego in the toughest of these circumstances and the scariest things coming to surface, then guess what happens within us all? We all become enlightened and we go to the kingdom of God within us, which is really where we belong, and all of our dreams can come true. So it makes perfect sense, right?
Yeah,
We just
I think
have to,
this time we're definitely like looking the devil right in the face as a universe, because that's like breaking through the fourth dimension. And as we break through that dimension, then we get into the fifth dimension, and then this devil energy, this lower energy, can no longer touch us because then we reside above it.
Yes,
So
exactly.
we are all in this story right now. Some of us can see what's happening and can see that it's a story, but for some people they can't see that yet, and so they have to learn to have faith in something bigger than self, which is God, so that they can then lift themselves up and over this energy, this devil energy. This is what everything. I think this is what this story is completely designed to do right now. It's to help people to keep faith in something bigger than self.
Yeah, and there was that card in there about watch what you put your attention on, right?
Yeah.
So, and the bad guys, they know that what we're afraid of. Some of them have been raised in that Luciferian system since they were born. They know us inside and out. They know our psychology. They're very good at it. Very good manipulators. People who you think you could trust. You got to be real, real careful who you watch and who you pay attention to right now, because there's a lot of psychological warfare, even dream warfare going on. But if we just put our attention on our consciousness, I say to always divide whatever you're seeing or watching, try to watch it from an observer standpoint, so that your attention is always 50% on your environment and 50% on the God source energy within you, that aliveness in your cells. And that's going to really give you good discernment. But it's also, like, according to the quantum physics and things like that, as the observer, you change everything that you're observing. So that's how we're going to transform the world. But these bad guys know they don't want us to stay present. They want us to be in the past and in the future. Like, oh, can you believe that happened? It was such a fake, blah, blah, blah. Or in the future of, oh my gosh, what are they about to do next? And blah, blah, blah. We got to stay right here. We got to stay right here in our heart,
Yeah, it keeps you, like you were saying, keeps you off balance when you're constantly worrying about the future or the past. And
Hmm.
this fear storyline at the moment that keeps being produced is doing that for people who can't see that that's part of what they're trying to do to us. And you need to look over and beyond it. And you need to, as you said, you need to be very careful who maybe you're following or listening to, because things that we've thought are good might not be, and things that we've thought are bad might actually be okay. And this is a time where a lot of things that have been hidden from us in the past are now getting reversed. So it's a very
Yes,
interesting
yes,
time.
it really is. It's
So
been
the next
fascinating.
question I had after that was, so we know that all these things have got to come back, these boomerangs, so that the shopping list can be finished, if you like. So then they were saying, so then the question was, do you think when all that happens, when all that's understood, that President Trump will then run for another 3 or 4 years?
Oh, I totally forgot to. Okay, I'll answer that in just a second, but I forgot
Okay.
to tell you that when you talked about I mean, this whole thing isn't even legal anyway. It's all fake anyway.
Yeah.
Even the whole e thing, like there isn't even there's no such thing. There hasn't been in years. But for the big performance being put on, it will appear, I guess, that could happen. But there was something about when you said will be step down. I saw a woman pop up. I don't know who the woman would be. It could be the K person, or it could be his wife. But whatever it is, it's geared to alarm everybody.
Yeah,
Is what I got real quick while you were saying that, and I forgot about it. So I just wanted to go back and cover that real
that's
quick.
fine. No, that's
It could be
great.
just part of the scare or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's interesting.
Okay. So your question now is will there be another like a
So
four
when
years?
all those scare tactics have finally like played themselves out, whether that's Biden stepping down and Kay stepping in or whatever is going to happen, when that eventually all gets finalized and the boomerangs have all come back, do you think that Mr. T will then run for another 3 or 4 years?
It's not quite going to be like that. It's going to be sort of like that. I don't know why it wouldn't be totally. I'm not getting a real solid yes. So I guess it's going to kind of be known. Oh, they just said he's going to be known as being kind of in charge of the cleanup. So I'm not even sure there's going to be a term, like a time space to it, like a defined period of time. I think that they're going to stop the ease altogether, possibly. I just got a yes. So the ease will get stopped, but it's going to be, it's just going to be like a cleanup job getting rolled out, and he's going to be in charge, and along with some other people. Is it going to be like a group thing? Kinda. Eventually, like a group thing. Are you getting something similar?
Well, yes. Shall I tell you what they said to me? And then
Absolutely.
we can go back and forth. But
Sure.
they said, so we asked, will President Trump run another 3 to 4 years after all those boomerangs come back and things are sort of more or less sorted out, I suppose. And they said no.
Oh.
A new setup is going to be revealed to the masses,
Mm-hmm.
and that they will be able to choose their new leader and coaches from the grassroots level. They said that the overlords, the treacherous controlling hierarchies, are now being dismantled, and that the dark souls, the evil ones, are being systematically removed from all walks of life, and that this process is ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that most humans do have good hearts, but a small percentage have been creating a dark storyline
Mm-hmm.
and have now been infiltrated by the white hats, and that their power base is now disseminated, and that the tide is turning for humanity towards love and peace for every soul, young and old. So they didn't talk in this answer about what might be going on with the clear up, but they are definitely saying that he's not coming back because there's going to be a new situation, which is
Okay.
basically what you were saying as well. There's something else going to
Yeah.
happen. Definitely
Um,
something else going to happen.
Okay, everything that you said, as you've been reading off everything that you get, I'm confirming everything. Yes, 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 yes. The only thing that I got any kind of a questionable thing was when you said that they were just disseminating the power. What was
The
that?
power base. Yeah.
The power
Dark
base.
storyline.
They told me they've only gotten about 40% done with that. It's not quite, they have a ways to go about that.
40%. So they're saying 40% is done.
40% disseminated.
Okay.
So they got quite a bit of work to do yet,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. That
But
makes sense.
I don't know if that's DUMS or if that's like institutions or,
Yeah. Do you know what I think it might be actually? I think the heads have been taken out. And I think what's going on
I
right
get a
now,
yes.
part of the
Mhm.
delay, is particularly with the financial system and them testing it.
Yeah,
Because the Starlink is now up and running, and that will be part of the system that runs the new quantum financial system.
mhm.
And I think part of the delays are as they're trying to test it, they are trying to find where these hidden enemies still are. And I think that's going on in all walks of life.
Yeah,
So I
they
think,
said pockets.
yeah,
They
like the
showed
top.
pockets and like underground little caves.
Yeah, I think it's not just that. I think it's in organizations. So like those,
Mhm.
those sort of three-letter organizations, governments, education, finance. I think everywhere you've got, I call them the snakes because they kind of hide in the
Yes.
shadows. And with these ongoing sort of sting operations, they're still weeding out people that look like they were working in with the good guys and looked okay, were going maybe unnoticed or unrecognized. And I think that's where this percentage is that you're talking
Okay.
about.
Yeah, makes
I think
sense.
they've got their heads off, and then you've just got those people. I mean, we have it in the truther movement. There are people sitting there saying all the right things, but actually they're just snakes, and at some point they will be found out.
Yep.
We have
Yep.
this going on in all walks of life, even in the spiritual circles. So, I totally get that, 40% is probably the head's gone. And then this last 60%, which I think that bit might go more quickly than we
Yeah.
think.
Well, I get a yes.
Yeah, I think
Well,
that
they just
bit's
said
going to go more
within
quickly.
yeah, they just said within 2 months.
Do you know why I think that as well? It's because I think people will tell on others. Once they get caught, they'll squeal on their other, like
Yes,
snakes, their other snake
totally.
friends.
Yeah.
Because there's not any loyalty with those types of people. There's no
No.
loyalty.
Nope.
Um, Something that light workers hold very dear is
Yeah.
loyalty, and people that don't work from the heart and with faith in God, they don't have that loyalty. So if they get found, they will then squeal on, maybe 100 others. So I think that's why the 60% that you're seeing, I think that will go more quickly than, because 60% sounds a huge number, but I think that time frame is not as long as we think.
Absolutely.
And what
It's
did you say, Amy? 2 months? Did you say
yeah.
2 months? Wow.
Yeah.
That would be really fast, wouldn't it?
That's really fast. But
Yeah.
I just got the Four of Pentacles. So let me ask what it is. Using wisdom, because I see the Hermit next to it, using wisdom on building a solid foundation. So I feel like I was getting like 2-3 months ish. And then it felt more certain that it was like, no, they were like, no, it's 2 months. So 2 to 3 months ish. And then like maybe the 4 month mark, what would that be? That would be January, I guess. January, we start building a foundation. We start, can you explain? Hang on just a second.
So this is light language.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay. In January, there's going to be a feeling of things really getting a foothold for us going forward, like momentum building, and it's like unstoppable. Like it's going to feel strong.
So
We get confirmation from Annie. Yeah.
That goes back to, remember I said we lost a year. So when we thought we were going to see everything begin this year in January on the 21st, and remember what happened. If we've lost a year, then that would make sense what you were saying, that January 22 would be the new starting point.
Yeah, well, people will definitely, like, the tables are going to be turned and everyone's going to know it. Everyone's going to feel it. everyone who is pushing these V's and all that stuff, feeling, yeah, it's, they're also showing, oh my gosh. They're showing people becoming unbrainwashed.
Oh, wow.
Unbrainwashed. Yeah, what I'm seeing is like a person's head
Yeah.
coming apart, like it's all pixelated, and the pieces are going
Wow.
like they're like it's all being like disintegrated, the mind control system. You know what that could be? That could be the MSM.
Yeah. Could well be. Let's hope so.
Ugh, I know.
So the next question I've got is, which I think you've probably just answered it actually before I even said it, but we'll see what you get anyway. So question 4 was, what is the next phase in the USA timeline or story? Is there anything you're getting that, I mean, you've said quite a lot already, but can you see what might lead up to maybe that that January or that November situation? You
Well, I've
getting
been feeling, I've been getting a lot, like I've been pulling the card a lot on emergency. And
Okay.
we just, even here in Boulder, we just had some kind of a planned electricity taken down thing. I don't know what that was about, but it was weird because my Telegram kept saying updating, connecting, updating, connecting. I was like, what the heck? That's kind of weird. But and then we had the EBS system like testing like a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago too. But I feel like I just got like emergency and the word flood. So I think there could be some, I've, of course, we've been feeling some of this stuff for like a long time. It's like, when is it going to happen? But something having to do with water. I know that we've been through all the elements, earth, air, wind, fire. We just need like water to complete the cycle. So yeah, something happening with that soon. Is there anything else? How much again? Taiki pum pum on. They just said, ow, that hurt. Like fake stuff. I don't know. I suppose I can use the word fake. fake stuff being put out there, just like what I was saying.
Disinformation? Do you mean like disinformation?
Disinformation to cause fear, and also like something hurt my heart. So it could be like I don't know. It felt like a stab. Like what? Like
yeah. Like maybe like some shocking news or something.
Yeah, something to cause like confusion. They're saying confusion, but it's actually ultimately they're saying a gift from God. But
yeah,
so it's going to turn into a miracle. It's going to seem shocking or whatever, but it's going to turn into some kind of a miracle, I guess.
So in the past, when I've asked about the flooding, and I'm not saying we haven't had flooding.
They're offering up some advice real quick, saying to be really gentle with yourself through that. Stay really present if you can. Stay in your heart space and stay strong in your faith. So, and the dog just barked.
When I've spoken to them before about the flooding, they've said that it will be. Oh, sorry, I've got my dog being very verbal now. They said that would be more to do with a tidal wave of awakening. That's how they called it when I asked them about the flooding 6 months ago. They called it a tidal wave of awakening. So I'm not saying there won't be flooding, because we do actually have flooding a lot every year anyway.
Yeah, it's just water. I mean, I'm just getting water, but I did get the word flood though too. So
yeah. So yeah, I'm not saying there won't be flooding, but they always said to me that represents the tidal wave of awakening.
Yeah.
So what they said to me about the timeline, they said at this time, there is no official president for the whole world. Sorry, there is no official president because the whole world is under military control of the alliance. So that would be your emergency that you were seeing, because you started saying that there'd be some sort of emergency. And I said, so what does this mean going forward? And they said that the elections around the world have been manipulated for many years, and a worldwide operation by the White Hats, the Alliance, has led to many leaders now joining forces to rid the world of the cancer known as the deep state. They said the USA is going into a new era, a new way of managing its affairs. So there's going to be a new legal, constitutional, and monetary framework, and all of these are being brought into play. They said this is being done subtly to allow for a secure system to be put into place fairly for the people without the interference from the dark forces. They said that President Trump is not officially needing to lead in the future, which is what you said, as the new systems and mandates will allow the now awakened and awakening populace to manage their world in a new harmonious setup. They said the two-party system will go, with power being devolved to local communities, and official titles and bureaucratic measures will be minimal and will diminish, as new forms of devolved governance will now cascade down to each individual and to each sovereign being. They said the results of the audits and elections will fade into insignificance, actually, once the new frameworks become fully activated. They said that Donald J. Trump was chosen to lead the charge so that the intensity could stir within the planet a wave of change, tidal wave. His work is not completed, but his role will be different going forward for the USA, which is what you said.
Yay.
People will begin to demand that new systems, practices, and structures be put into place as they realize that there is no place for what we currently hold dear or sacred as we now move into the new vibration and the world of love. The doodahs, the masks, and the restrictions have given people the harsh realities so that they have to reassess the meaning of their lives. They've had to go within and reach a point of despair or solitude, to reach a point of knowing their mindset in each moment regarding important points of life. So, for example, freedom, health, sovereignty, and governance. And a movement has now begun, and it is rippling out in all directions and corners of the globe. We have started a wave which will help humanity to reach critical mass, and this will be what saves and transforms the whole of humanity. That was a long answer, sorry.
Dude, I really appreciate the detail because I was affirming yes on all of it. So this is amazing. And that hermit with the Four of Pentacles talking about using wisdom trickling forward.
Yeah.
That's exactly, yeah.
And we both said, so the question was, what is the next phase in the USA's timeline or story? And we both got that it would be like different, and that President Trump wouldn't necessarily be like a president anymore, that there'd be these new things that he would be tidying up. You said tidying up. And this is really what this will be. It'd be like a new start, putting away all the old systems and beginning with like a fresh system.
Yeah. And by the way, like I said, if any of this didn't feel right or seem right, or if there was something to be tweaked about it, I'd speak up after you were done.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
yeah, but I'm getting a yes on all of it.
Wow.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Yeah, I love this. I love the different techniques and how they come together. So we're on to question 5. Oh, who have we got here? Who's this?
Annie. This is Annie.
Annie.
Hi, Annie.
So question 5 for Annie. Are we going to metaphorically have a near-death experience?
Yes. Oh, wait. It was, well, that was weird. Okay. Hey, let me read into that. Yeah, it's more like going through a birth canal. I don't know what the difference between it is, except maybe a slower process, a little bit of a slower. I don't know. It was kind of like what it looked like to me is instead of like a straight up yes, it was curved. So curved usually means like eventually we'll get there, but it was a real firm yeah, but it was like curved. So it may be a little bit like prolonged or something. Like it's going to take some people longer to have that, to realize. It's like they realize they're dying. Like in a car wreck, you're about to die. So you're like, yeah, but that's exactly what it is. I'm feeling into that now. Like it just feels like, whoa, what's happening? And when it's all slow motion, when you're in a car wreck, you start to realize who's important to you and what really matters and all of that. It just seems like for some people, they won't realize they're in a car wreck until the very last second or something. And then they have some kind of an epiphany. So I think a lot of these people are going to be like, whoa, I got awfully close to jumping off the cliff. Like they didn't even know there was a cliff. They were like about to step off of it and they were, whoa.
Oh, yeah, that's a good way of describing it, actually. That's a good way. Like, you didn't know there was a cliff. You're like running perhaps towards the edge, and then you suddenly realize that there's an edge.
Yeah.
And you stop, and you just stop in time, and you say, wow, that was lucky. That's interesting because, so the question was, are we going to metaphorically have a near-death experience? And you'll be glad to know, Amy, this is a short answer this time.
Yes.
But they said, only in the sense that the ego-driven pursuits and desires will die, and we will walk on earth with our heads in heaven and our feet on the ground, and we will know that we're in the world but not of it, and that our perspectives will now change to how may I serve, rather than being all about, what can I get from something. It'll be more about how can I serve. So that's the awakening enlightenment process.
Totally.
And they said, at this moment in the history of Earth, it is possible for many souls to experience the rapture simultaneously. As truths become known en masse, many souls will simultaneously awaken, creating a rapture amongst the collective consciousness, and the rapture is the point of awakening en masse. So what you were saying about like going through this canal, this birth canal, but it might take a bit longer, that would probably be the collective all coming together, waking up together. So it's going to take a bit longer, but that in the end, like you were saying, they get to that point where they realize, wow, we could have gone there, but they realize what's happening. And it's that kind of that awakening.
Yeah, and I just got the word safe when you went like this. Like they also simultaneously realize that they're safe, that it's okay. It's going to be okay. Like we're safe. Like it was a really.
That's that moment when you have that enlightened view of the world, that there's something bigger than self. There's something that's going to hold you. It's okay. You're just about to go over, but then you realize, hang on, there's something bigger than me. And you have that awakening. So that's very interesting. It's very interesting how we get similar answers, even though we're coming from two different materials. So are you ready for question 6, Amy?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Right, let's go for it then. So recently I had this vision, and I was seeing that in the southern states, so this is just like a week or so ago, I was seeing that in the southern states of America, there was military marching. So I think it was sort of around Texas way. Okay. Now what I want to know is, was that actual military walking on the ground, or is that metaphorically where the military are creating a base for where we're going in the future? like a strategic base. I wonder what you thought about that.
Now, this is a vision that you had, or were you actually seeing proof of it or anything like that?
So what I'm asking is that I saw that as a vision.
Okay. Okay.
I saw the military walking in the southern states of
Right.
America, which I believe might be somewhere like Texas. And what I'm wondering is, when I'm
Yeah.
seeing that vision, is that actual military walking, or are they just showing us that strategically they're based there and that's where they're building their plan?
Okay, so I'm getting a definite yes on the strategic in the planning, but let me feel into it some more. Let me just see. Hang on. It's an invasion, but not in not in the way that we would fear. It's the other way around.
Wow.
And there must be something or a series of things in that area that are negative. It makes me actually think of, they're saying that some of the military bases have been used for nefarious purposes. And so it's something about how it feels like they were putting off doing this until the last minute because they didn't want to alarm the military personnel currently. Some of the military personnel don't actually realize what's going on. So it's like they're planning some kind of like an invasion, a good invasion of like taking over and infiltrating and letting all the current military know what's going on. Like the ones that know now are the ones that are part of like the alliance or something, but then all the rest of the military personnel are going to get, like, they're going to hear about it in a big swoop, fell swoop. They're going to just hear suddenly and just be informed. And it's going to be the last little bit that they need to nudge to get something going forward. Yeah, and the sun is like coming out real strong right now in that moment. So it's kind of like the last little bit they needed was to inform everyone generally for the military so that they would have everybody's backs, and then something happens. Something happens to like one final, it's like a boom, like sealing the deal. Like sealing the deal and getting that last shot in the hoop or getting that goal at the last second.
Wow. Okay.
I
I can't remember what my people said, but I'll just have a look, see what they said. That sounds really incredible what you just said, though. So they said to me when I asked them, was it real troops or was it just like a metaphorical sign to show that there was strategic things going on? They said, you ready, Amy? The vision of the military was a sign to show that military maneuvers are already taking place on the ground in the USA. So that ties in with what you said.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, why are there military maneuvers? And they said, the military is preparing for a new army, a new military for 2022 going forwards, which will recognise a new constitutional setup which serves we the people. It will be a military to serve solely the people's interests beyond any political influence. It will take its direction from General Flynn and the now reintroduced and revised version of the Declaration of Independence from 1776, but it will have updates to encompass pressing modern day agendas and politics which have been harmful to the founding principles and precepts of the original Declaration of Independence document and protocols. So that kind of ties into what you were saying a bit as well, because they're saying that they're creating this new military to be set up against a new legislation which is similar to the Declaration of Independence document but will be updated. And you were saying that these people, the military, don't necessarily know. That would make perfect sense because they may not have been briefed on it yet. And they might not, you were talking about the nefarious things, and they, the general military may not know about all that detail about the nefarious activities. And then they're going to be maybe introduced to this new document going forward, which is based on the Declaration of Independence, but updated to bring in like the new things that are now pressing on us in terms of, these nefarious things that have been going on, say with money and who's been controlling everything. So that's tied in as well. That was really close.
That's cool.
When I was saying that, were you getting a yes on that, or did you have something else coming into your vision?
Thanks for asking. Yeah, because the only little variance I had was that it's not just going to be Flynn. There might be 2 leaders.
Wow.
My initial thought was, I wonder if it would be somebody like, Russell J. Gould, but then I got a no on that.
Yeah, I got a no on that when you said it. I don't even know who that is, but I just got no. Yeah.
I think at some point he may have been considered, but I think somehow his ego has gotten in the way or something. I don't know.
Do you think it might be General Flynn's brother?
Yes, I get a yes. Yep.
Me
wow,
too.
How cool is that? Yeah. A couple of brothers leading things up. Aw.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
So General Flynn and his brother leading up the new military army, the new army, the new modern army with the new modern constitutional framework. Wow, that's incredible. So what we both got there was that
for some reason they wanted to lift up the divine feminine in that moment too, and they said, and the women behind them.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Well, that goes without saying. I just forget to say that because I automatically forget that's just normal for us, isn't it? Because we're power women. So, question 7. So I was thinking the other day about the variant names that keep coming out, around the situation, the illness. We get Delta and we get Mu and we get this and we get that. And apparently the final one is going to be called Omega. And what I'm wondering is, do you think the names of these are military code for the stage that they're at in terms of getting that process together?
100%.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got. Yeah. They said to me, yes, the variants are a military code for the stage of the QFS system.
I'm so sorry, but it might have something to do with the children.
Oh, okay. Right.
Maybe the stage that the DUMS are at or something even.
The DUMS.
How interesting.
That's another really good point. Yeah.
Yeah, they just mentioned kids. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that makes sense because when we're thinking about the quantum financial system going live, part of the hold up is that we have to have the DUMS and all that nefarious activity weeded out. Because what we don't want to be doing is feeding money back into that system. So that makes perfect sense because they were saying to me, yes, the variants are a military code for what stage the quantum financial system is currently active or being processed. So that would tie into your vision too, the DUMS and the children.
The military card, the passionate new start, a whole new life beginning and opening up, celebration and miracles.
Wow. And I also said that are the variant codes, because I think at the moment are we on the Mu at the moment? The Mu variant, spelled MU. I said, are these variant codes a sign for how far we are along in that process? So like we started with Delta, we're now on Mu, and the table that I saw, it ended with Omega. And I think the date next to it was something like 2023. And I'm asking, is that those names of those variants, is that a code for how far along we are in this process? And I got a yes for that. Did you get a yes?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So we both tied in with that one. Right, so the next one.
Oh, there's something
Oh,
something
yeah.
also about maybe giving back money to the people in there.
Yeah.
The divine intervention kicking in and giving money back to the people. I don't know how that plays into things.
Well, so that might be the point where the QFS switches on and that thing called the reevaluation happens. So
Yeah. Yes.
the last variant called Omega, that might be when the RV is going to happen, the reevaluation of the currency, and then the whole quantum system at that point hopefully will be switched on for everyone. Wow, that looks positive.
Yeah, wishes being fulfilled, a bright future, vulnerability,
Yeah,
authenticity.
yeah,
One card looks like day, the other looks like night. So yeah, like protected night and day. This is the T card, even Mr. T.
yeah,
And yeah.
yeah,
And the healing card.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Incredible. Okay, so the next one, number 8.
Wait. Didn't I just say divine guidance, like like giving back according to
Yeah,
divine guidance had to kick
yeah,
in because I had the tower and the 6 of Pentacles. So I said divine guidance kind of kicked in, or divine, what did I call it? Divine intervention kicked in and made them give back or something like that. It says this involved divine guidance,
yeah.
timing, and the will of the divine. It is aligned with its purpose, and good will come of it. This too shall pass, and there will be peace of mind and celebration.
Well, whenever it all happens, we know it's going to be good.
Oh gosh, yeah,
We know
yeah,
whenever these timelines eventually fall into place that it's a really bright future.
yeah.
I've always been told that it's just this navigating through to get the pieces in place, isn't it, really? So the next question was, going back to that, what has to happen before this quantum financial system can go fully live worldwide for the citizens, like for you and me? So we know that the Starlink is running. That's the quantum internet. We know that that part is running. And I know that they're testing the monies back and forth. But when do you get that the whole system is going to go live so that you and I will know about it and maybe see this RV and different things to do with the finances?
Well, oddly enough, like just before you said this, I got a little clue about something. Oh, huh. They're waiting for something to happen. It's like there's all this fear and lack going on and brokenheartedness. And then it's like people step in their power. And then there was the Fool, and the Fool is about like clearing the slate completely and having a brand new beginning come out. It's almost like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So maybe
Yeah.
they're waiting for a certain amount of I just saw the word consensus, maybe most of the collective agreeing that this has just brought them to the, oh my gosh, I just randomly picked up the clean slate card again, a brand new beginning, and taking a leap of faith. So
Yeah.
it's like it almost feels like, I don't know how in the world they would gauge this, but it feels like 73%. I'm feeling 73% or so of people have to realize or see that their lives are being completely devastated and decimated financially, and in terms of like what is happening here. It needs to get like 73% or something, and then all of a sudden, wow, this new beginning. And
Wow.
and will it be like a bunch of like money coming out at that time? Yes. So it's like we go from this lack to all of a sudden so much that it's ridiculous. Like all these millionaires or billionaires even popping up all over the place. And those people
Wow.
are in this mode of being like, let me give back. And everybody's delving it all out and sharing. And it's like, they're just said it's like a frenzy. Like I can't believe that just happened. It's the biggest miracle. So is this from the RV or something? It's from the RV. Is it from the government at all? Not so much the RV. And the people at the RV with the RVs, are they going to be giving back to other people? Everybody's going to be helping each other out that way. Wow, putting the money in good people's hands.
So,
And I
Amy,
feel
I
like the
don't know.
people in charge, like totally laughing, like, watch what happens when we give this much money to these people. Like, oh, here we go.
So I don't know how
Wow.
much you know about the different currencies that people have been buying because they might have a reevaluation value which is quite high. But the ones for the humanitarian projects are called ZIM. I don't know if you've heard of this before.
Zimbabwe nuts. Yeah.
Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
That sounds to me, what you've just said then, that sounds like the Zimbabwe bonds will be the people that get these monies that you were just talking about, where they then start giving it out. That
Yeah.
sounded very much like the Zim bonds
Yeah. Yeah.
that people have been setting up, like they've been getting their projects together on paper as what they would like to do if they were able to access these funds to help humanity.
It almost feels like they're trying to break through to being able to happen. Something's holding it back. There's like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? You know what?
Go on.
Let's do something right now. I want to put out some light language to try to bust through whatever that boundary is,
Okay.
whatever the blockage is. Is this cool? Yeah, they said it's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Hamamana da chance sihi ke la hot pumpa maan. Tatai la sensishi la kiins. Sa hana pumumoho o la aikense. She shensi pipim pampa alkaensa. Hello shonko o pomba maana atai sanse. Shenshe he hu o maan. Tete la kirina taisa. Okay. We just mixed up the energy of it. So whatever was holding it back, it's released.
That was incredible. I actually felt that going down the back of my spine at the lower part. And the lower part of the spine is to do with financial security. So hopefully you might have cleared my financial blocks.
Yay. And oh my gosh, this says what you're inquiring about has to do with going to higher dimensions of reality. Ascension and evolution are occurring swiftly. Humanity's awakening at a rapid rate.
Wow. So I'll tell you what they said to me. Now they tend to come in on a more military level with me and on the ground level. So what they were saying for this was, so the question, just so everyone can remember, was what has to happen before the quantum financial system can go fully live worldwide for us, for everybody. And what they said to me was that each country has to be known to be in a state of peace and not war. And the documents for the Nasara Jasara, or whatever name they give it at the time, because it won't necessarily be called that, although the template will mean the same. And the documents for Nasara Jasara and the license controls for Starlink have to have been ratified, agreed and signed by the Alliance and the appropriate representatives in a significant country or location. So I asked them, how will these appropriate representatives be ascertained or decided? And they said that at the moment, this is the Alliance working within military law within each significant region. Many countries, they said, do not currently hold a legitimate leadership, and therefore they are already under military law. So I said, is this why the timing is unknown for the events in the USA? Because as we've been saying all the way through this session, they had to do certain things before they can finish, what they need to do, and then the new thing can step forward. And this might be what it is. This might be what the hold-up is, that this paperwork has to be implemented. So they said yes. The implementation of the paperwork, the agreements, and the new financial protocols have to be ready in each geographical location before the USA can announce its new Nasara Jasara framework, and then all the countries will follow suit. So then I said, with things as they are currently, how long might this process take to implement worldwide in line with these NESARA GESARA protocols? Now, just see if you get a yes on this, but they said 2 to 5 years.
Yeah.
You're getting that too?
More, yeah. Yeah.
So,
For which aspect of it?
so I was asking, so what they're saying is that there's these documents that are like the NESARA GESARA documents, and they have to be signed in each significant place throughout the world, and also the Starlink licenses, because each country will have a part of the pie of Starlink.
Yeah.
So even though it's a whole system, not one geographical area can have the whole pie to itself. It can only have a section of it. And there are going to be, obviously, I would imagine, protocols and guidelines for how you operate your part. So what they seem to be suggesting is, do you remember all those boomerangs that have gone out? They feel like they're just distractions so that they can get on around the world, the alliance, and get these protocols, these paperwork exercises in place. And once they've got all those signed and sealed and ready, then the boomerangs will come back, and then we go live in the USA. And then once the USA officially go live, then if everyone else is then signed up, then that QFS can go live and the funds can come down.
Okay, so I the reason that I asked it was because when you said 2 to 5, you said 2 to 5 years, right? And I originally got a yes, but it was leaning more toward 5 years, then that's why I asked, like, was it a specific aspect that you ended up asking about at the end? And it wasn't, it was the whole thing. But now that I feel into it, though, they're saying months, not year, the 5 months.
Wow.
5 months. Yeah.
Wow, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
So you don't have to wait 2 to 5 years. It's actually going to go quicker than we thought.
Yeah. And then you've got success and victory right here too.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Let's see. Yeah.
Yeah, because you said, one of the words you used before when we were talking at the beginning, you said we need a clean slate and a consensus of 73%. So if you think of the whole world, maybe what they're looking on is the 73% is the consensus of all those countries signing. And then we have a clean slate and we all start together.
Yeah.
When you listen back, honestly, Amy, when you listen back and you hear how that ties together with what I said, I think you'll find that ties together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And you also said waiting for something to happen. They're waiting for something to happen. That's what you said at the beginning. I wrote it down what you said. So they're waiting for these documents to be signed in each country and for it all to be in a state of peace, not at war. And you said 73% was the consensus level. That would make a lot of sense, wouldn't it?
It would. They're also saying that the people will still continue to heal, though, for many years as the secrets keep being revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that maybe the 2 to 5 years could be that cleanup job.
Yeah, because nothing's all going to be just sorted in one go. It's going to be, like you said, an ongoing process, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
and it's a big mess. It's a big mess, and it's like you can't get the goo away. Like it's a big old cobweb that's just like it goes into our language and our history books, and that like everything we've ever learned. Like, how do you unravel that? Like that's going to be an undertaking, in our food and what they do to our food and our water and like all of it has to be
everything.
reversed.
Education, everything.
Oh, they just said the ETs are going to be helping with that.
Yeah.
To make it go faster.
Yeah.
So
I've got
that's
them
good.
coming up in a minute in a question. Don't tell me about them yet. They're coming up in question 10.
They do that a lot. They do that. They'll give me the answer of something to come before it comes.
Just to tell the
You guys
audience,
are funny.
the way we've been doing it is Amy doesn't know the questions in advance, so she's really on the hot seat today. And I only have the questions before because I channel them before. I'm not an instant. I do get things coming in while we're talking, but I'm not someone that channels on the spot generally. So this is why we're doing it this way round. Just so you're aware that Amy didn't have the questions beforehand. So question 9, Amy. So will the Nasara Jasara documents and protocols that we've just been talking about, do you think they're going to be part of, or are they going to run alongside this new Declaration of Independence format that we've been seeing recently, that we think they're going to upgrade it to make it more modern? But do you think that, so the actual question is, will this Nasara Jasara documentation and protocol, will it run alongside the wording of the Declaration of Independence, but in its modern form?
Okay. I'm going to get a yes off the bat, but let me see what else they might say about it. Hamana Kansas in Tapu Hama Aki AIDS. Sheshe Hipampa Eke Natai San Seshikira Maan. Yeah. Something that's real clear and simple to understand.
Yeah, I got yes.
Yeah, that we won't have to. Yeah, we won't have to look into the definition of what things mean or any about it. It's going to be like straightforward.
Yeah. And then I said, will this be worldwide? So worldwide, will they have their Nasara Jasara framework? And in each country, like we were just talking about, will they also have like a Declaration of Independence for their country with the modern definitions? What do you get for that, Amy?
I got the word uniform, so I feel like it's going to need to be. It may be translated in their own language, but I feel like it's going to have to be everybody on the same page going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they said to me eventually, yes. And you're right. The template will be the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's my understanding. We'll all be running under the same template worldwide, but obviously the word of it might not be Nasara Jasara.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And depending on the culture of, and maybe even the language of a location, it might be described in a different way, but essentially the precepts, the protocols will be the same for everybody worldwide. You'll be like in a worldwide template.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you get that?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're putting uniform.
Do you know what I just picked up on too? When you said worldwide, when you went like this, I saw a grid in my mind.
Yeah.
And it was like an energetic healing grid. So that could be them putting out positive energy out the 5G towers, or something like that, or Tesla or something.
You're not going to believe what the next line was. They said that so each country will have a modern day sovereignty statement and legislation, which is like the 1776 Declaration of Independence. And they're saying that, but it will be updated, obviously, to represent a modern day scenario, because obviously we're not in 1776 anymore. And they said the examples of where the updates will be is it will cover the quantum financial system, and it will cover the operation of Starlink within each geographical location, which is what you just said. Honestly, when you watch this back, Amy, this is just incredible that it's matching together.
Amazing.
It is.
It's so encouraging.
Yeah. Right. So, question 10.
Oh, hey, so I'm sorry, but they interrupted real quick, and they said, they said there are other timelines. Any of you watching this, if you're doubting, if you're skeptical, you could create a detour for yourself to go learn some lessons. But if you align with this and you really believe it and you feel good about it and you just really keep yourself centered in the present moment, you're going to be right along with us.
Yeah.
So
brilliant. that might be what the 2 to 5 is. Maybe that, that it goes as quick as people get
It's
on
like, you know
board.
what it feels like? Oh my God, this is so funny. They just said you back of the line. So some of these people that are thinking real negative, they'll be taken out of line and they'll have to go be at the back.
Go start
So
again.
that by the time they get up to that place again in line, they're going to be like, I have full faith.
Yeah. Wow, that is a really good way of describing it, isn't it? Okay, so question 10. This is the last question.
Okay.
They're saying, how are the galactics helping us at this time?
How funny. How funny. Okay, so I saw some of the when you said that, I saw I saw UFOs like all over, and they do hide in clouds.
Yeah.
A lot of what we believe, like I will just say, a lot of the things that we call conspiracy theories, things that we call fiction, things that we call science fiction, things that we call just, even mythical creatures, all kinds of, like, unicorns are real, guys. Sorry to have to break that to you, but they are. We don't see them yet, but you will. And the dog just barked.
Yeah.
So I felt like a bunch of UFOs spread all over the place. And I just got the word Arcturians. A lot of Arcturians, our Andromedans feel like they're more giving us information, like intellectual and downloads and upgrades. And the Andromedans they feel more distant. The Arcturians feel more like hands-on right now. And I saw like a string to a bunch of like Earth angels, maybe the 144,000. But it could be also just those that are which ones? Those that are aligned with spirit. Those that are aligned with spirit are being given like a little safety line, or like a string of fate, almost like with true love. People kind of have like a string of fate attached to between them, but it's like that, but we're attached to the UFO. So they can constantly, they just said they keep their finger on our pulse and energetically, and making sure that there aren't harm coming to us. But also, Hamashikin Sasena Taikin. Okay, steering the technology that already exists, like the 5G and stuff like that, like steering it to the positive, using it for the positive, using the V's for the positive, like steering everything. I feel them like, come on, troublemaking children, come on, gather this. Okay, now everybody go behave. It just kind of being spotting us and making sure nothing gets too out of line to where it's irreversible kind of thing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually, because before I even read out my channeling, when all this started, like last year, I can actually see the ships in the etheric realms, and they were all over the town where I'm living. And I could see them holding space over where I used to teach students for 5 years on how to work with ascension energies and angels, and eventually how to open a portal. And what I was being shown was, even though we were all in lockdown at that point, all my students, a ship arrived over their portals of their homes, because they'd been taught how to open those. You called it a string of faith.
A string of faith, or something like that.
Oh, okay. So
an energetic string between.
Yeah, that kind of is how they was sort of showing me, was that the ships arrived over the portals that my students had opened. And then they were also showing how I was in touch at that point then with Commander Ashtar a lot, and he's around again right now actually quite heavily. But at that time, he was explaining to me that these grids that these ships make, these grids of light, were then going into the portals and then into the ley lines. So this grid that I think you mentioned a minute ago, with all the people helping. Oh, hang on, just got a call. Just switch my phone off. Yeah, sorry about that. So the string of fate, did you say, or faith? That to me was like, gave me that vision of those portals and the ships over
Mhm.
the students' houses. So I just
Um,
wanted,
I, I'll just say too, like a lot of people are getting psychically attacked right now. And I was recently as well. And I woke up the next morning after kind of a shit show of activity.
I just hate that. Don't you just hate that when that happens, Amy?
And then I woke up the next morning and it felt like the dust had settled. And I looked at the cards in there, and they said it was like it's been taken care of, and it was by the ETs. And I was laughing. I was like, "Oh man, you guys are okay."
Yeah. So whenever that happens for me,
Mhm.
the people I call upon are Commander Ashtar and Archangel Michael, because they're like the two heavy guys, if you like, that can help
You
you with
know, it's so
psychic.
weird that this is so weird that you say Ashtar, because I don't even know who Ashtar what is. But the other night I asked, like, which UFOs are watching me, or like which extraterrestrials are watching me right now. And I got the answer, but one of them was Ashtar. And I was like, who's Ashtar? I know I've heard that before. So I had to look it up because I didn't know. So apparently Ashtar, and yeah. So,
It's
but we're definitely
interesting.
affected.
I was listening to Marina Jacobi today. In fact, she was the one just trying to call me, so she's probably
Huh?
trying to confirm.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
but Marina Jacobi was talking about, she's just had a channeling as well from Commander Ashtar this week.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so I had messaged her earlier to say that's who I've been working with for, quite some time, probably about 10 years, and that he's been very active for the since all this has been going on. He's been more active, obviously. So it makes sense to me that people like with your abilities would now be being able to maybe see him or work with him. So he doesn't
Well,
appear. He works it as an etheric being, um, but he has a demeanor about him, which I won't tell you because it will give you a chance to explore, and then you can say to me, "Is he like this?" And then I can tell you, yeah, that's Ashtar.
that's so cool.
Yeah,
But part of the navigation through what we're going through right now is having to discern, and people have, oh, yeah, because there's Actar too. Isn't there an Actar? Ashtar? I don't know. But,
there might be.
people
I
will
don't.
say, like,
I
I've
could
heard the
well be.
galactic. Yeah, well, some people say, well, I've heard the Galactic Federation is a bad thing, and I've heard this is a bad thing, and then this is a good thing, and then if this bad person wrote this book that was great for me, should I still pay attention to the book or throw it out with the bathwater? And so there's really going to be a lot of navigating going forward, but we got to listen to our intuitions and
So I've
check the
actually been
cards.
told. I've heard that even like Archangel Michael is of the dark. I mean, it's
Oh, please.
at the moment there's disinformation everywhere.
Yeah. Oh,
And
or the Men in Black. Remember, the Men in Black they came to protect me once, and everybody's like, oh, Men in Black, they're bad. Apparently they had my back. So there's good
yeah,
ones too. And they told me we're hiding. We're not out there. The ones that are known are the bad guys,
yeah.
but there are Men in Black that are good guys, but we hide ourselves. So I was like,
So
okay.
I don't know anything about the Men in Black, but if anybody else has got experience of any of the things that we're saying and you want to like make a comment, then that helps us to get a broader understanding of what everyone else is experiencing, and that helps everybody.
Mhm.
I think that if something resonates with you, then that's what you should go with, and you should make your own just your own judgment about what feels right for you, because for a long time I was self-taught for many many years, so a lot of things that I know came to me directly, and so I've learned everything that I know about light and love and spiritual law through having had it come through in an experiential way. So I think if you can have something happen that way, that's the best way. But when you're listening to other people, you just have to keep feeling into it. Does this feel right for me? Because even if it doesn't feel right, it doesn't mean that that person's bad. It could just mean that your path isn't supposed to go in that direction.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
we all come here with our own soul plan, and it has its own set of things on it, just like the military plan that we were talking about earlier. And so it might not resonate with you because you're not supposed to go that way. You're not supposed to
Yeah.
drive to your destination on that particular road. You've got your own things to learn.
Mhm.
And if you experience something bad on that road, that's not that good and bad also don't really exist, because when you had that experience, it taught you something. Now, whether you want to call that good or bad is up to you. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, if you've had an experience and you've learnt something, whether you want to call that a good or a bad experience, you're still learning. And that's what the soul path is all about.
Yep.
So we'll just finish with what they said to me for question 10, which was, because people probably can't remember now what the question was, Amy. we're like we're like two chatterboxes. The question was, how are the galactics helping us at this time? And this is what we'll finish with, if that's okay.
Yeah.
They said that the Galactic Federation of Light are benevolent beings who work with the will of God, and they are holding the interplanetary structures steady so that the rising wave of the collective consciousness is assimilated in perfect order for the rest of the cosmos to adjust and recalibrate accordingly. They said all the galactic beings feel the upcoming wave of increased consciousness, and it is like a soft, gentle breeze of light falling onto their face. They embrace and protect our evolutionary state of consciousness at this time. They said that no lower energies can now infiltrate this evolving momentum, the tide of light on Earth, and it may look and feel like a period of turmoil and of great change. It is indeed a time of great transformation. Sometimes things can feel chaotic as all the pieces are thrown into the air, but as these pieces begin to rearrange and to reorder the structures of the earth, it will quickly all begin to fall into alignment. This new alignment will be the road that we now journey collectively into the Golden Age. The galactics will literally have their breath taken away by the changes that they are now about to witness from the previously sleeping masses. God is rejoicing as all the great plans for humanity are now starting to come to fruition. Keep the faith. The new world is coming. Hold steady and just breathe. Stay in the moment and know that God is good. And this was channeled from Commander Ashtar of the Galactic Federation of Light. So if that doesn't resonate with you, then that's fine. If it does resonate with you, then that was a message from Commander Ashtar. So I'll leave that with you to make up your own mind about what you think of Commander Ashtar's vibration and words. Amy, do you have anything to add to that? Or
I got a yes on all of it. And I'd like to close out with a blessing for everyone.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
And for humanity as a whole.
Yeah, do that.
And to protect those that are holding the line, and I feel so sorry. I've been hearing that some people who bought their survival food that's supposed to last 15, 20 years, like it's just expiring. These poor people who've known about the truth for that long. Oh, just breaks my heart.
Oh no.
So let's give a renewal of faith to those people as well who've known a lot longer than I have. Let's just bless their hearts, just bless everyone's hearts and help them to have faith and be strong through this craziness and weather the storm and just be the eye of the storm, you know. Okay. Hama na she san se se la ki in ta tai. Ho mama na tai ken se. She san se hu la pomo on. Tinte ke en sa se la. Ishin set ke en pom on. Tete ye shan se la ke es. Se chin se bumo hama an. Tala la la ki identity na kai. They're thanking the ETs now too. Pampa she sees this a hike na tain. Ho mama ama ana I. They're reminding everyone the two best things that you can do right now, and they're very simple, is put your hand on your heart and say, I love you 100 times without counting. And the next one is, I am one with everyone. I am one with everyone.
I love you and I am one with everyone. That's lovely. Thank you, Amy, for coming today. I've had a lot of fun.
Me too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we can do this again soon. And I'm hoping
For
that
sure.
everybody really enjoys listening to everything we said today. And as I said, if you'd like to place all your comments below, which will help us if we work together again in the future to put something together. And don't forget, Amy, your cards. Where can people get your cards again?
Oh, thank you. It's amysatori.com/products, or just hit the products tab on the website.
And so you have a website, and do you do any teaching or readings or anything like that, Amy?
Yep, all the above. I also do lives Mondays and Thursdays from 12 to 2 Mountain Time in the US.
Good. I love
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love trying to catch those if I can. Yeah.
So
So
those are
all
fun.
that information, we'll put all of that below the video so that people can find you. I'm not taking any personal readings at the moment. I'm working more on some other projects right now, but obviously people will be able to find you and hopefully book some readings with you and buy your lovely new cards, which I've been using this week and are very good. They're very good for the current affairs that are going on. So thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for watching.
Yeah, thanks, everybody.
See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.